Good morning, guys. Welcome to this Monday, April 6th, and hope you had a great Easter. Happy Easter. Uh, it was pretty calm weekend, I have to say. Not much crazy stuff happened. They rescued that pilot. That was a good win right there, but it's other than that, they were still waiting for that deadline. I guess it's posted 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Was it tomorrow? Tuesday. I think they said Tuesday. Yeah. So it's we'll see 4-6. What is it today? I forget. No, no. I lost track on that. Anyway, so that deadline is coming up pretty quick, and yeah, we'll see what happens in the markets if the Iranians doesn't make it that deal and the shooting stops. So uh, markets though, I don't know if you traded the employment situation on Friday. That was a pretty good report actually. A little bit of a pop at that time. Not a big follow through. The pop reversed and then pretty much died. There's nothing happened after that. So I watched it. There was nothing really tradable about it. And you don't want to get into a bunch of trading if you have like 45 minutes before the markets close. So, and then you have to be out of positions and stuff and have margin requirements like 15 minutes. You didn't have much time to trade it on Friday at all. But it was a good report, and I think it reflects the in the overnight here that we had a pretty good. We had a little bit of a gap down. It seems to be all get that when you have uncertainty. So, but then we retraced pretty good, and we are pretty much holding pretty much where we left it here on Friday. So a little gap down at the open. Here's your Friday. Here's your Friday little baby day. They held the 6600s, and we have been up since. We haven't really taken out the 6650s, and this big chunk of resistance haven't really taken out this area. And I would just look at this and watch this bigger F1 area congestion. If that comes out, barely made it break even and turn off the. Yeah, no, yeah, I mean that's a brave one. He's trading up a storm on that number. It would have been tradable on Friday if it had moved directionally and kept moving. That would have been a tradable, I think, but or a good reversal within a few bars. But it popped the reverse and then was just sloppy after that. And it's like, yeah, no, I'm not trading that. So I stayed on the sidelines. Anyway, so if they can take out the 6650s, I think we have a little bit of positivity coming our way. At least we are reversing a little bit back from this whole lower congestion area we have. And I'm talking on the F1 here. They have the 6630 to 50s. You have the 6560 to 70s, and you have that 6515 to 6540s. They've been going back and forth here for a bit. But I mean, we had these big rundown days here a week ago. It kind of really, really got you going, right? They really kind of um, emphasize how volatile this whole situation is. But I'm thinking that from what if you can puzzle together the big picture, it seems like the Iranians are just fanatics about not saving their country. So the chances are they may find themselves in the Stone Age here in a few days. And that would be as bad for the that whole civilian population. But if they are just hell bent on keeping that straight closed, and it just tells you what kind of regime it is. So after this is all said and done, they're going to be done with, and the world is going to be better off, and you're going to see that reflected in prices. As soon as the strait opens, you're going to see that in a big way. But that's a risk premium. I mean, it's in the not looking at the ins and outs of that war situation. Assuming it gets resolved, Iran is not going to be an issue anymore. That's a premium on oil, which is a premium on everything. It's going to be taken off, and that's going to be making everything overall cheaper. And that's kind of I think, the biggest picture dynamic. Initially, I'm going to start from the long side. Today, looking to buy weakness, at least initially. So I'm looking to buy against the 6650s and the 6600s. Only these two. that's how aggressive. That I'm not going to be more aggressive than that. If they take out the 6600 and run probes below it, I'm just going to go back range bound. And if they start taking out that 65, 60s, that the mid area of support, going to be probably start thinking about the short side. So that's kind of the dynamic I'm looking at today. On the way up, looking for the sell strength, 6630s, 6640s, 6650s. So looking to sell strength up to that upper 6650s. Looking to buy weakness initially at the 6615s and the 6600s. Below that 6600s, looking for looking to still to buy all the way down here to the 65 60 is this level down. So these two support areas, but not as aggressive at that point. If they take out 6600, still looking to buy against these support areas, just not as aggressively. Is the way to say it. All right, so that's kind of how we get started. Let's see if we get some follow through. Now we've got earnings season coming up again in about a week or so. So we're going to start seeing earnings trickle in, and I think the war winding down, or at least finding the hostilities, main hostilities stopping, and the earnings come out. We'll see how this shakes out. I think that the Iranian situation is going to linger with us in one way or the other for a while, but it's in the bigger picture. I think they are going to be kind of defeated, annihilated, and that strait is going to get open one way or the other, and then basically just the option is really how bad is that going to get for the Iranians before they figure out that they bit off more than they can chew, and we'll see. So on the Nasdaq, same story there. Nice move to the upside in the overnight. Gap down is everything else. Watching this lower support area right now. I haven't moved this at all. I'm kind of mulling over a little bit, trying to drag it down a little bit, but so far I've just left it where it's at. So I'm going to keep it there for now. But the 24,100 to 120s here, 100 to 120s. That this is the support area right here. That's the ledge here in the overnight. So that's pretty much what that lower area is. So I would look to buy weakness all the way down there. So against the 24 210s, 24 160s, 24 100 for rotations up. And looking for short setups against that the 250s, the 330s, down to the 400s here for rotations back down. They start taking out the 400 for 420s. I can see us start trading back up again towards the tractor areas here at the 24 900s. But right now, I mean, we've been probing up, they backed off a little bit, so we'll see how the whole session starts developing as the day trading kicks in. But both ES and Nasdaq starting with slight bias to the upside, given the employment situation. I think what can derail it is obviously oil prices staying at 110 where they are right now. That's not a good sign. And oil prices trading higher, and that would obviously get the markets all bent out of shape again. But the fact that the market is up, even if oil traded up to 110, 111, that tells you that the market is looking past oil prices right now. And if I just look forward, so oil is trading at June. If I just add check out the July expiration. I subscribe to the June expiration, they're trading at 97, right? So they're trading down. So it's so you just look at the expirations for the other oil markets, and you'll see that they are that's going to be the forward months are going to be trading down quite substantially. It just tells you the market is looking past the oil prices, going to get resolved one with the other. And maybe our friends in Europe get their backbone together and come and help out, because they're getting all the oil, right? Funny how that works. So looking to buy weakness on the Nasdaq against the 24 260s, the 200s, the 160s down to that 100 level for rotations up. Looking to buy sell strength against the 340s up to the 400s. 24 400s for rotations down, and about 400s, maybe leaning on the long side a little bit more at that point, and that starts happening. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I didn't touch much on the news today because there's not much news to touch on. It's we only get an ISM services number come out at 10, so not much news to go on. There's more news coming out here at midweek toward the end of the week. So on Thursday we get a lot of stuff. We get GDP, jobless claims, personal income. That's your PCE index. And on Friday we get the CPI, consumer sentiment, factory order. So it's Thursday, Friday are big news days. Up to then, not much. So that's kind of where we are. So both ES and NASDAQ, given the employment situation from Friday and potential uh, this conflict in the rear view mirror, we'll see. Market looks like it's looking past it. Let's see if it does. You don't quite know until the market really starts trading higher. There are too many unknowns and too many potential curveballs which can come our way. Now, the final thought here on the bonds. The bond market is kind of holding steady. Hasn't done much. Kind of just staying range bound right now, so not much reaction. Here's your employment situation. We're up, they were down, and then they settled a little bit on the downside. And that was about it. And I haven't really done much with it since. So this is your, I'll split this guy out. This is your reaction to the employment situation. So a little bit to the downside there, but hasn't really moved much directionally. And that was what Friday's number was all about. It's not much directional movement. Now, if there's a reaction to it, we may see it today early on here if the market's going to like that number or not. But it was a pretty good number, so I would think there's going to be a positive reaction. The only negative side I can see on it is we may not get rate cuts as fast or as many as they want. Maybe a negative on the markets, but this good news, bad news thing, we'll assume it's good news for now, and then let's see how the market reacts to it. But I would look to buy weakness on the bonds at the 13. Yes, get this guy back like so I can read this stuff. 1310s, 1302s down to the 1226s. Look at the sell strength against the 1320s, 26s, 114s, 11406. That's kind of the dynamic. So three levels up, three levels up, three levels down, and that's pretty much it. And then we'll see. So I think the interesting part today is going to be to see if we get the directional move given the employment situation, or if it's going to be more volatility but not directional. We'll see how this whole thing shapes up as it goes. Oil and the cryptos hasn't really moved a whole lot. Not much to say about those right now. The Coinbase stuff, but that's up and running as well. Alrighty, guys. We'll wrap it there for now, and I'll see you back at 11:30 for the next update. So starting with a slight bias to the upside. Let's see how far they can take it, and if there are going to be some follow through on that Friday number. Alrighty, guys. Good trading, and I'll see you back at 11:30 later.